Okay, so this is going to be Jumanji. This is going to be the fourth time I've seen Jumanji. Fourth time.
That is unbelievable.
Why is it unbelievable?
I don't think I can see any
movie.
movie.
You know that I go to a movie every night, right?
I'm not even sure I'd want to see Star Wars 4 times in the movie theater.
I've seen Star Wars 4 times too.
I could see Star Wars 4 times if it was at my leisure, I guess.
I have to go by myself because I have to go by myself. And then I have to take the girls to go see it. And then in this case, I had to take Ian to go see it. And the funny thing about it, and then we went to go see it. And all this time, I didn't know whether I liked it or not. And this time, I loved it. So,
wow.
What's up with that?
Welcome to the dungeon. You are listening to the Dream Warrior Review, episode 26. Jumanji. 4 teenagers are sucked into the magical video game, and the only way they can escape is to work together to finish the game.
Exactly.
And adventure
ensues. Yes. So, what'd you think? You've seen it only once.
I had my doubts about this movie going in. I thought it was going to suck, actually, honestly, because of the trailers. I was like, The Rock, the future president acting like an idiot. I don't know.
Right.
I had my doubts, but it looked like it was fun. It was a fun movie. I was thinking about the first one.
Right.
The first one I actually liked, but I
liked the first one.
It was a lot different than this one, for sure.
It was very different.
Like almost light years apart.
Yeah.
It's more, the first one was more cartoonish and fun with Robin Williams.
Yeah, and it was goofy gag, and this one, it's funny. The first one, Jumanji just was happening to everybody. In this one, Jumanji sucks them in.
Yes.
And it makes a huge difference. It really does.
That's right. It was like the first one, it seemed like they had no control over anything, and they didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, and they were within their real world.
Yes, and then this one, they were like, they figured it out as they went.
Yeah, and this one was played like a game.
Yes.
Which is funny because the first one, we knew it was a game, and it was a board game, but it didn't feel like a game
That felt more like a adventure movie, I guess. I mean, they're both adventure movies, but
the first one was more like the entire town was playing the game. And these are the only guys that are trying to find out what is going on. This other one here, you're sucked into the world, and for that, I have to say, the character of the guy driving up on the Jeep, who is the what is it? The non-player.
NPC non-player character, wasn't it?
Yeah, That's exactly what it was. Yeah, Good catch.
It came to my mind just like that.
I'm glad it came to you like that. That's good.
So I like the fact that Nick Jonas was in this. That was a surprise to me because I didn't know he was in it, actually. I wasn't really paying attention. I didn't read anything about it or watch anything really.
Well, as my son puts it, he says, what is it about Dwayne Johnson that you just have to look at him? He's just personable.
He has charisma.
He has
for sure.
charisma that comes through the screen.
So he might be a president someday. President.
Good.
Would he be the Rock president? The president, the Rock, or would he be? He probably doesn't want to go like that. He probably Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne the Rock. Wait, President Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
I have a feeling that he would make as stupid a decision as Trump does.
But he has that smoldering thing he does.
Yes, that's true. It's smoldering.
So actually,
that smoldering look, that'd take care of a lot, don't you think?
That's actually one thing I liked about this was the casting, how they fit everybody to the character.
Oh yeah, it was perfect.
It was almost like they wrote for the person. I'm sure they did right because The Rock was one of the producers, right?
Yeah, The Rock was one of the producers.
So that character was for sure written for him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the fact that we went from, honestly, a group of that felt the students that we come from, they felt like students. They kind of had an awkward sensibility. They weren't, like
Well, even the football player was awkward.
Yeah,
like a high school kid.
Yeah, they seemed a little bit more like students. And then they get into the game, and everybody played their role in the game amazingly. Nick, the guy who introduces us to the game and is a player and has very limited roles, that limited lines that he says, and then he just repeats them.
And he has to say them the same way every time.
Yeah, he has to say them the same way every time, and he does it just perfect. And did you notice that the doors opening to the Jeep as it comes out, like they open all at once, and you could almost feel that Disneyland kind of like thing happening?
Yeah, well, you heard the hydraulics.
Yeah, you heard the hydraulics, and they made that sound. It was just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I thought everything looked really good. I was kind of curious as to where they filmed all this. It felt obviously foreign, but
it wasn't New Zealand.
No, it wasn't. No, I knew it wasn't New Zealand. It didn't have that feel. New Zealand has jungle and stuff, but it doesn't have that get back kind of craggy cliff look. It doesn't have a lot of that. So
my first thought was like Hawaii or someplace, but
I was thinking maybe Philippines or some I don't know, somewhere.
Okay, here we go.
Okay,
oh my gosh,
where was it?
Where was Jumanji
San Bernardino,
filmed?
Right? San Bernardino, California.
Hawaii.
Oh, Hawaii. Oh, there you go. Okay. I like the fact that they built the town, and what they did with the town was kind of interesting. How they took that village and they made it the street of the village, and they sucked it in really tight, and they put the screens over the top. Did you notice the sticks going across the top, so that you kind of got that enclosed feeling of a tunnel.
Well, like you were in a game. Like
you were in the game, right?
That's one thing I liked about this. It was they were in the video game. Yeah, and it actually came across like that.
It did. It absolutely came across. And for instance, when the what's the character's name? The girl, the redhead girl.
Martha.
Martha. And what was the actress's name?
Karen Gillan, I think, or I don't know how you pronounce her name. It's Gillan.
Yeah, she came from Doctor Who.
Oh, I thought I couldn't place where she came from.
She's probably about I want to say 5 years ago, something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
that's how much I know about Doctor Who.
She's just cute as hell.
yeah, she was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, she was really good, and what I kind of enjoyed was the fact that their characters behind the people in the game, the characters that they were in real life, the awkward high school characters, came through really well. I mean, they did that really well.
And then you have Jack Black, who was
perfect
as
a woman.
Was
amazing.
He was a good woman.
He was a good woman.
See, when I saw the trailers and I saw Jack Black and Kevin Hart, and I was like, it's probably gonna be really crappy, like jokes and everything.
But they were really good.
It was funny.
They kept their characters straight, and it did have that linearity of a game.
Yeah, totally. Good. They had the only thing I was wondering, like, if they would make a Jumanji where they don't get through a level and they have to start over the level. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But that would probably take too much time.
No, you have to simplify it, and the trope that they use for the
lives,
is really good. And you know what? The sequence of fights, how the fights happened, were really well choreographed.
I like the scenes with Martha kicking everybody's ass. It was interesting. And The Rock, of course. I mean, The Rock has done that in how many movies now, probably?
Right, but they had The Rock kind of doing the thinking guy, in this, because that's his high school characters coming through in that. So it was interesting.
Almost like they took opposites. The only thing I wish they did was have one of the women get into Kevin Hart's body. If that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Well,
to mix it up a little bit.
That would have been. Maybe it would have gone too far.
Maybe too much.
Yeah, maybe too much. So Molly Gillen kicked butt, didn't she?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, she really did. I have nobody to complain about. The look was really good all the way through.
The effects were good. I mean, it was for what it was. I thought they were awesome.
Yeah, they had some really funny parts. I mean, the part with the everybody standing around and peeing was hilarious, and Jack Black was so good at that.
I have a feeling he's actually said that to himself.
Hey, this thing has a handle. So I guess I guess in the end, when we're doing our judging, we could judge it by penises.
Handles.
How
many handles?
That's right. How many handles do you have? Yeah.
We don't want to be too graphic,
Yeah. No. I'm going to go with 4.5 handles on this. I'm going to have to. I just am.
I would say 4 handles. It didn't really dazzle me as much as it probably did. If you saw it 4 times, maybe if I need to see it again.
I'm not dazzled. I'm not completely blown away. But you know what? It does. It kind of is taking care of like a Disney.
It had a Disney.
It had a Disney feel to
absolutely.
it.
And it had the Indiana Jones kind of feel with their adventure. They had to get something done. They had to get the jewel.
Exactly.
They had to do it.
Yeah,
so
it goes in the great line of Goonies.
Yes.
And I was going to say even Tron and that kind of thing all the way down the line. Good. It was a good tween adventure.
And it does relate to sci-fi.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Because at first I was like, Jumanji, really? But then I was like, well, it does have some sci-fi elements in it.
It does.
Like when they get sucked into the game,
when
for
they
example.
get sucked into the game.
That's the first one right there.
Absolutely. Well, and the deaths. The deaths were great when they come landing in, and how they even use that towards the end was just interesting as hell. And you know what? Pretty good bad guy.
Absolutely.
And when he reminded me,
it was very video gamey though. Like the way
he was very video gamey, and I don't want to spoil this.
Right.
Like I haven't.
Well, how he kind of appeared, like with all the guys with him.
Right.
That was like a video game.
And the bugs.
Yes.
Bugs crawling in his ear and all that. No, it was kind of creepy. It was really well done.
So does this movie remind you of anything, or?
Well, that's funny you should ask.
Wow.
I think it could possibly be story time.
I think it is.
Okay. Well.
Story time.
Story time. It's story time with Mick.
Story time with Mick.
Story time with Mick.
Story time with Mick. Story time with Mick. Story time with Mick.
What it reminded me of, as we were talking about, it has looks that could be like New Zealand. And when I was doing Hercules, we happened to have a couple of villages and towns and stuff that had to be built, and we had to imagine Hercules in this more of a jungle look, and we had to have like the Amazon, because you can't tell a story of Hercules without the Amazon village, and the Amazon village also had the sloppy men's village, because the Amazon women against that and stuff. So we found a location, and it was a ranch just outside of Auckland. Now, Auckland has this odd way of being like, there's the streets of Auckland, and then it goes to the edge of Auckland, and it's just kind of rainforest from there on out, and there's like waterfalls and just beauty and beauty and beauty and beauty. It's amazing, and we started filming at a ranch that was just on the other side of, it was just out of Auckland, but it kind of faced the other ocean. Right. Okay. So we were kind of, if you put it in American terms, we were kind of Atlantic side, and that was Pacific side. So I'm screwed up because that's not quite the right oceans, but
I know what you mean. Yeah.
East,
one
west,
side
right?
and the other side.
Right, and one side and the other side. So we we're filming at this ranch. And we ended up making the village for the Amazon women, and we did it huge because we could.
Right.
Because that's what I do.
Because you had the budget for it. Probably.
We were kind of getting the feel for how the money worked over there, and what we could buy and stuff. And I had some great greens guys, man, because we built a lot of stuff with with branches and stuff like that. So we have this village that's up in this ranch. In the ranch, you have to go up. In order to get to the site that we picked for the village, you have to drive up these kind of like roads.
Right.
And this one road was beside a wash. Okay. And so the wash is maybe, as you're going down this road, you're at a just different, you're higher than the wash, but it goes from maybe 20 feet to 40 feet, right?
Right.
And you can drive along, but the road, I guess there had been quite a bit of rain a couple of days, and we're in the middle of like setting the village up. And I had bought a VW van when I was there because aging hippie, and the fact that I could get a VW van that was just like the one that I had, in high school as a kid, that was only made like 3 years ago.
Wow. Yeah.
That was really cool because, there are places in the world that
do retro, like
they built like the 1968 style VW van forever. I mean, they just...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Like in other countries, like Mexico, they're building the Super Beetle still.
Like the Mexico built the combis for years and years and years and years and years. So I would assume that maybe this was... And of course, the steering wheel was on the other side.
Right.
And I don't know if I ever told a story about driving alongside...
You did.
I did. I did to you. Okay.
That was Red Christmas, episode 19.
Yeah, exactly. That episode. So I've got my van and I'm driving up, and it had been raining probably the other day, and so the road was pretty wet. And just as I'm driving up, the road washes out as I'm on top of it.
Wow.
And when it does, maybe I'm 40 feet high, right? And so what it does is it turned my van around, and I slid backwards, back down into the wash.
Oh, man.
Standing on the deck, the rear deck of the van. And so here I am. I'm like over by the edge of the wash, right? And my van had ended up, and I'm looking straight up. I'm sitting in the chair, in the seat of the van, and I'm looking straight up in the air. So finally, I get out of it. And I slide down. I jump out, and it was like a pretty good jump, right?
Yeah.
And I get back to look at this, and sure enough, that son of a gun had settled and was sitting right on that absolutely flat rear deck. Right.
Right. Yeah.
Right where you would go on and get in the back or get the motor, right? It's flat as hell. And I had just happened to come back down, sliding backwards down, and it's pointing right up in the air. And I'm looking around, and the first thing I thought was, God, I hope nobody saw that, right? Because there was absolutely nobody around.
Right.
So I'm like, wow, okay, well, and I go over to it, and I try and push it as hard as I could, see if it would like fall back down on its wheels, but it was in the sand, and it made a little divot, right?
Right.
So it was just holding it down there. It was in there, and so I think to myself, wow, it would be nice if somebody came my way. And so just as I said that, I start to see movement in the middle of the wash coming my way. And I look out, and I like, it's a group of people. They're heading my way. Like, one of them's a lot taller than everybody else. And it turned out to be a brownie troop.
Brownie troop.
A brownie Girl Scout troop, right?
Right.
And you have to understand the Kiwi point of view. When I say that, they come up and they are laughing hilariously, because it was, honest to God, one of the funniest things I think I've ever seen.
So did they see it happen, or they just
no,
see you
they just see
there?
they see me standing here, and the van just up in the air, looking like it's like on a like it's a rocket about ready to take off, right? It's a really retro 1968 rocket, one of those,
Right.
So we can go to the moon, but I can't get this freaking thing up this wash. So they all gather around, and they're laughing and going, you know what? Maybe as our good deed, we try and push you over. Now, these are like probably between, I'm going to say 9 and 12-year-old girls and their
Right.
leader.
Yeah.
And there's probably about 8 of them. And finally, we push it over. And I think to myself, and you have to understand how many times in life you have this dichotomy. Wow, I am so appreciative that somebody came up here to help me, get this van back down. And then the other side of your head that says, did it really have to be a brownie troop in full uniform? And
Right.
And I think, well, at least nobody saw me. And just as we were pushing as hard as we possibly can, and the van starts to tilt back down, I look up on the hill, and the art director has been stopped from going any further. My art director turns, and he's got a camera, and he clicks just as it starts to fall back down.
Oh, that'd be an awesome photo.
A picture which he has never let me have.
Really?
Yeah, all those
Did he
years.
let you see it at least?
Oh, he let me see it. Yeah, he let everybody see it. Oh my God.
And unfortunately, this is probably before Facebook and everything.
There's years,
everybody would have seen it.
Yeah, everybody, the whole world would have seen it. Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, but he has that picture.
That's awesome.
So, I'm sure that I kept thinking that eventually I was going to get blackmailed by that picture. Some people get blackmailed because of a sexual dalliance or because of they screwed up a financial thing or something. Mine's going to have to do with Girl Scouts and not in the way that you think.
So you're a lot like me. It's like, the embarrassing things are just because you did something stupid.
Because you're an idiot. Yeah,
crazy happened
right.
to you.
Yeah. No. There's no doubt we're both idiots. Oh, absolutely.
Well, we got to be idiots. We're sitting in a dungeon doing a podcast.
That's true. Absolutely. So,
We're not Adam Carolla.
So,
Anyway.
In the category of really weird and funky stories, you got to admit that was a pretty good one.
That was.
It got down, and I started it all up, and I swear there weren't even scratches on the car. We got it down.
What about the bumper? It wasn't squished from...
No.
Wow.
No, absolutely not. Sitting on sand.
Oh, sand.
You
Yeah.
couldn't even tell that anything had happened, We pushed her over, and I waved to the girl, and it's a Volkswagen van, so once it was down, it can go through anything,
Yeah.
right? So I just turned around, went to the bottom of the wash, and came back up the road, and then, got way over on the edge and went on with life.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Saved by brownies.
That is a really wacky, still to this day, I mean, one of the things about being in film and being in as many just bizarre situations is, film. And I have to admit that I, in my life, have been one of those people that will let a bizarre situation remain bizarre.
Right.
Some people don't.
I tend to do that too. And actually, my wife bothers me about this. She's like, why are you so calm right now? I'm just like, I just want to see what happens next.
It's because when the going gets weird,
you just got to go with it.
The weird go professional. Yeah,
You just have to go with it.
You just got to go with
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's so. There's that.
Go with the flow.
Go with the flow. Yeah. Hakuna Matata.
It means no worries.
No worries, baby. No worries. So we killed this one.
Yes, I think it's dead.
Okay, Hakuna Matata to you.
And I want that picture. You can put it on
Yeah,
our
you know
Facebook
what?
page.
I swear, I got to see if I can get a hold of the guy. By the way, he is the guy who production designed. What is it? That Tolkien thing?
Oh, the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, the Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, he did Lord
Big
of the
time.
Rings. Yeah. Of course, he wouldn't even accept my calls after.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I see. Big stigma between being an American, and a New Zealander. They wanted to do it themselves. So.
Oh, well, I can see that.
Yeah.
More money for New Zealand that way, right?
Oh yeah. What can I say? Yeah.
It happens.
That's the way it is.
Yep.
Okay, I think we're done with this.
Yep. Thanks for joining us on the Dream Warrior Review. Coming up next time, we'll be doing a retro selection for the first time with Hellraiser. Hopefully in the near future, I can convince Mick to review one of his own films that he worked on. Maybe Critters, or maybe Strays. We'll see. As always, feel free to send email our way as we welcome your feedback at dreamwarriorreview@gmail.com, or hit us up on Facebook and Twitter at DW Review. And don't forget to tell your friends about us. Our goal is to reach 8 followers by the end of February. You can make our dreams happen. Music was brought to you by Charred Walls of the Dam. Mick's amazing hairstyle was brought to you by Wind and Water and a Comb. Till next time, along with Mick Strawn, I'm Kurt Thomas on the Dream Warrior Review.